Okay, let's start. So, first, there are certain do's and don'ts for this meeting, for this spaces session. Before that, the agenda for this session would be, how do we identify that if someone is a fraud or if someone is a genuine guy who is selling us something. So there are ways to easily identify that. So we'll look into some of the usual tactics that some of the con artists use while they are selling systems or indicators here on Twitter or on any other platforms. I'm being told that Twitter is very relatively very small place as compared to Instagram or YouTube, where people can sell anything and everything. So but I have been active on Twitter for the last 3 4 years, and so I'll restrict myself to what people do on Twitter, and try to uh, you know uh, throw some light on ways to identify if someone is a genuine guy or if someone is a fraud. So we'll do that. Uh, During this meeting, there are a few speakers who have already been identified, who will share their experiences of some of the seminars that they have attended, or in general, what are the certain traits and behaviors these people use to trick people, to trick other people into their seminars or workshops or whatever. So those speakers will share their experience as well. And in between, if you have anything to add or if you have any of your experiences that you want to share, you can do so. You can send me a request. I'll see, if time permits, we'll take as many speakers as possible. So with that, let's start. So who is a fraud? First of all, we need to we need to put a definition to who is a fraud. Not everyone is a fraud. Anyone who says that okay, I'm teaching options basics course, wherein I will talk about what are the option Greeks. I will talk about what are the different kinds of option strategies, and you pay some amount to that guy. He teaches you that. So that is not a fraud. He's selling some education to you. You have agreed to pay for that, and this is perfectly fine. But anyone who uses certain methods, wherein he himself is not right, and using those methods he's trying to sell you something. So one such method is, let's say, MTM screenshots. So there could be genuine MTM screenshots, there could be fake MTM screenshots. So anyone who uses MTM screenshots to sell could be a potential fraud, who, or could be a potential con artist who is trying to sell systems based on credibility that he's trying to establish, which we cannot verify. So that guy is probably that guy probably comes into that space where either he is genuine or he is fraud. We don't know. So that is one such area. So there are a lot of these things we'll talk about, who's a fraud and who cannot be a fraud or who is a genuine. So I'll talk about few of these things. So the first thing that I said is MTM screenshots. Now we all know that people post a lot of MTM screenshots. When I was active on Twitter, probably in 2018, when I just got active, these screenshots were 10,000, and in extreme cases, these were going up to 1 or 2 lakhs. So that was the state of Twitter 3 4 years back. The highest MTM screenshots was probably 3 4 lakhs, not even that much for one day for any of the Twitter heroes. Now, over the time, this has increased manifold. Now we see MTM screenshots of 5 lakhs, 10 lakhs, 20 lakhs, 30 lakhs, 1 CR, 2 CR, 3 CR, 4 CR. Now there is no limit to the amount that one can generate, uh, the amount of money one can generate using trading, and post that as a MTM screenshot. So anyone who posts a lot of MTM screenshots, and is also selling something to you, the easiest way to identify that whether he is genuine or not is ask for trade logs for those days. ask for a P&L ledger for let's say 1 or 2 years. I Am I still audible? Hello, am I still
Yeah, you're audible.
okay? Okay, all right. So I myself had one such experience back in 2019. There was this guy who was posting everyday MTM screenshots of about 1 lakh, to the tune of 1 lakh. So every day he would post about 1 lakh profit screenshots, and after 5 6 days there will be a loss screenshot. So that loss amount will be around 30 40,000. I was thinking to at that point in time that this is probably the best strategy one could get. One could make 1 lakh each day, and after 4 5 days, get out at a stop loss of 30 40 k. I mean, here the win rate as well as the risk reward is so much favorable for that person that it is practically impossible to lose money if I'm to use this strategy. But thankfully, by the time I saw these screenshots, I had attended one more, couple of more workshops before, and I knew what was the scene already. So I reached out to this guy and I said that, boss, I'm interested in your workshop. It was probably for 10,000 only at that point in time. Uh, I said, I'm interested in your workshop. I have also started trading full time now. It was around that time only. And you have been full time trading for last couple of years. So why don't you show me your ledger for the last couple of years since the time you are full time? That was the only interaction I had with that guy. The immediate response was he blocked me on Twitter. That was the DM that I sent to him that I'm interested in attending your workshop, and he immediately blocked. So anyone who is posting MTM screenshots, and if you are trying to logically converse with these people as to if there is any flaw in MTM screenshot, or if there is any credibility that you want to seek for those MTM screenshots, and if they are not providing that to you, instead they are blocking you, then that's a clear indication that those MTM screenshots are not genuine. So that is one such way of identifying. Now I will in between let other speakers also speak, and then I have few other points which I have listed. So if those are not covered by these speakers, I will again jump in and talk about those points. So first I'll let I think Pavan go. He's one second, I'm approving your request, Pavan. He is attending a wedding and he has agreed to do this. He will share his experience with one such workshop. So Pavan, I've made you speaker. Over to you now. Pavan Thakur, are you there?
Yes, am I audible?
Yeah. Perfect. शादी के वेन्यू पे पहुंच गए?
Please, I don't have the best internet today. Am I audible? Can you please confirm?
Yeah, Pavan, you are audible. I had asked शादी के वेन्यू पे पहुंच गए क्या?
Hello. Am I audible? Man, what the hell?
Okay, Pavan, तुम्हारी आवाज आ रही है भाई.
Okay. Yes. So I want to add one point here. Okay. If
Yeah.
I'm not audible or anything, please cut me out. And so you mentioned MTM screenshots. Okay. Now there is something that I want to bring in that even with and because I am somebody who fell prey to that, and again whenever something like this happen, we want the first thing that you hear is both people are at fault. The one who's paying money without doing enough inquiries and whatever due diligence is also equally responsible. And that's pretty much right. And one thing that happens is like you do your best to identify whether the profit was made on that particular day or not. And this is what I did too. Like on a regular basis, I'm seeing someone who's posting profits, and then there are some intraday trades that they are showing which they actually performed in the market and they happened. So you start believing that person. But what happens at the end is Let's say some skill, right? Like there are people who have very good skills coming to very short time frame charts, like 1 minute chart, 5 minute charts, and they will do some things and make money from that. The problem with such things is like they are not transferable. I mean, you cannot be just selling that easily to someone like, okay, come learn this from me, and from tomorrow you can trade on a 1 minute chart and make money. That's not possible. So even when you see an MTM screenshot of a good amount, 5 lakh, 3 lakh, 4 lakhs, you need to investigate one step further and see how that was made. Because I can be running my system, and I'll give you my current example, right? Like I'm running in a very bad losing streak right now. I haven't closed a positive week since second week of December. Now let's say I wake up tomorrow and I take a couple of aggressive trades in the morning ticks based on order flow, and I punch in 200 lots and get lucky with 300 points and come out and clear all drawdown. If I show you the screens, if I show you my, let's say, the 60-day challenge, if I show you my monthly result, if I show you the order book and everything, it does show money. Of course, there is money. Who cares how it was made? But if I try to say that, okay, this is something that I'll teach you and you'll also make money from it, it's not going to happen. Because people claim, the second thing that I want to bring is like people claim that the money they made was made by a system, was made by a particular strategy, but there is a lot of randomness, there are a lot of discretionary trades that are involved, and that is also a problem when it comes to say that when they come to say that, okay, they'll teach you that. Now money is money. Like if I take that money out more and start, yeah, and go out to spend that, nobody will ask me like whether it was made by a system or discretionary. Who cares? Money is money. But if I claim that, okay, I want to run a workshop of 50 people and I will teach you how I covered a 40-day drawdown in 15 minutes, then I need to have something solid so that I can transfer that knowledge to you. Let's say, if it was a system, if it was made by an algo, then I can give you that. You plug in your account credentials, the same thing starts working on your account. But if I'm taking random trades, if I'm doing something based on order flow, that is totally personal to me. That something that I have acquired over seeing tick by tick data for over 2 years. I cannot teach anybody that. Like it is just some circus that I can do. Only I can understand and make money from it. So even though you see making people making big money, the practicality of that knowledge transfer to happen, whether you can learn it, use, actually do it, is something that also needs to be considered. Because just because money was made doesn't mean you can use the same uh, whatever they're doing, you can replicate that and start making money into your account. That's not how it works.
Right, right. And one very valid point, Pavan, that you made right at the start is that as a buyer of these services, the onus is more on us. Anyone who is trying to buy a particular setup or system or indicator from anyone else, the onus is on the buyer to verify whether that is good enough for him to invest that much money in that system or not. uh, Seller obviously has no obligation to sell you the right product, so the onus is on you.
Yes, I mean, and again, I want to bring it very clearly. Like the only reason I fell prey to that is because I was making money doing what I was doing, but I wanted to scale up. Everybody wants to scale up, right? Just because I picked up the wrong guy doesn't mean I was doing something wrong. I wanted to scale up. I wanted to scale the magnitude of the money that I was making quickly. Not quickly is not a question, but I wanted to do that. And in search of that, I found someone who was doing something similar to what I was doing, and they were doing it with like 8x more size roughly than what I was doing. So I thought maybe let's just give this a shot, and that's how I got in. But I will not say that I was not greedy. I was greedy. Like I wanted, I was when I was seeing these screenshots day in day out, I wanted to see like how the hell I can do this, because capital is not a problem for me. I can also bring capital. If this guy is trading from 50 lakh, I also have 50 lakh. If this guy is trading with 1 CR, I also have 1 CR. But how would I generate this 5 lakh rupees from that 1 CR is something that I wanted to learn. And that greed, you can say, or that unrealistic expectation to make money on a regular basis, on a daily basis, You can say that that is what brought me to the place where I paid this person. But yes, equal responsibility we have to see. But again, people do get a fair bit of slaps when they come out and when they share that, okay, I paid this guy and I got scammed. But we need to understand that trading does put you in places where you are vulnerable. Sometimes it because you're just trying so hard and you're still not getting nowhere. That is a place where people do get vulnerable. And then second thing is, like, when you find somebody who's so nice, like they're speaking all the right things, they're doing some good job, and as a person they are not a bad person. It's not like you are judging people on their character or anything, or if they are completely cons or something. It's a business, they are doing that. If you don't like the service, you don't pay. It's as simple as that. But eventually it's on the person who's swiping his card, that he has to make that decision. And of course there is always a possibility that you can be scammed, but you can do a few things. There are so many red flags that to look for. And as we started from MTM screenshot, I wanted to add one more point. Like, anybody who's trying to just give you a shiny object. Like, I post a lot of market profile charts and order flow tick data based charts on my Twitter, right? And people keep asking me, oh, what is this, what is this, which software is there, where can I find this? Just imagine that if I start saying that, oh, this is something that tells me like every market order that gets executed on index future, I get to see that every order that gets executed in an option, I can see that. If I start glorifying that, if I start saying that this is the piece of information that can change your life, it is very easy to sell people, because people do get very impressed when they see something that they haven't seen in a while, or before. And once you contact that person, you are at the mercy of that person's morals. If they can just write a good story around it, if they can just show you a couple of perfect trades that were taken based on that setup, people do become vulnerable. Anyways, they are struggling to make money. When they see something like that, they want to pounce and take that opportunity with both hands. So anybody who's trying to sell you some fancy tool, because if tools are making money, when there are so many intelligent people, programmers, and so many here, right? If uh, if there was something like that which was ready to use and can be thrown out in public and anybody can start picking and using, of course there are tools that do give you easy access to useful information that you can work with. That's not a complete uh, that's not wrong. But anybody who's saying like, okay, this particular system plus this indicator is something that we call holy grail, right? If somebody's trying to build something like that, take that as a red flag and start investigating how accurate, or how much truth is there in that claim.
Right, Pavan. And there's a saying that it is much easier to fool people than to convince them that they have been fooled. So when people get fooled by these con artists, that is the reason they don't want to come out and open as to, I attended this workshop, and this was what was taught, and these were the results, and how this did not fare as good as it was promised. So that is again one of the reasons that people do not talk about these things much in open. They want to remain anon, and they want to convince themselves that there's something wrong with the way they have adopted the system. So that is again one of the reasons. uh, I think I'll let Arvind, the decisive trader official, to share some of his thoughts that he wanted to.
Yeah, am I audible?
Yeah, Arvind, you are audible.
Okay. So just to give a background, I have been through this journey, and I have personally been through all the major courses that these so-called FinTwit trainers and influencers are selling. And I've never paid a single penny, right? Basically, I've been through these leaked courses, and I've been through the leaked courses or the leaked so-called strategy that they are teaching. And there are certain things, I mean, I've been through a lot. Like I've seen everything, people teaching all the kitabi gyan, technical analysis, systems, models, algos, indicators, certain prop systems that they claim. and now they are teaching quant as well, right? So what personally I have noticed is until one goes through the content or the so-called service, right? One cannot determine if someone is fraud or not, right? And what I basically do now is I categorize these people into three, four categories, right? And I'll share some of these categories. It's like the first type are people who are selling something that's already freely available, right? So those are the first type of people. The second type of people who are selling a service, a system, whatever you want to call it, indicator, right, algos, that they themselves are not using, right? So those are the second type of people. The third type are the ones who are selling something with half knowledge, right? So basically, it would not work in the real markets, right? So it would work in whatever backtesting platforms you are using, or basically they're not covering all the so-called terms and conditions as far as that strategy or that service is concerned. Those are the third type of people. And fourth, uh, fourth category that I can remember is honestly, it's very sad, but these are people who are unknowingly teaching the wrong stuff, right? So they themselves do not either believe in the strategy, they do not have the complete information, and still they are selling it or selling some type of it, right? So yeah, I mean, this is something that whenever someone is ready to purchase a service or a course or an whatever they're selling, right? They should particularly be very clear as far as which category they are falling into, and from there I think one must decide whether they should be going for that particular course or service or not. So yeah, that's what I wanted to add.
All right. Okay. Okay, Arvind. Shubham, do you want to go next? Shubham, are you there? Okay, I think Shubham is not there. So maybe I'll continue a few other things that I have listed. There are many people who wanted to speak, but they have not joined. So it's okay. So another thing is, there are a lot of about three, four charts every day that they will post. So they will post a certain stock and they will say buy above this, view negated or view invalidated below this price. And they will say view 120 points away from that point. And the moment Reliance moves to, let's say, 2560 or 2570, that is 40, 50 points from the current market price, they will retweet that chart again that they have posted, that 50 moves point already done. Now, initial risk on that trade was 120 points. And you are coming in and saying that मैंने बोला था for a 50 point move that had gone in your favor. And the next problem is that there are so many charts that they will post every day. They will post about 4 5 charts, and then they will keep posting and only retweet those that have worked. Now, any random toss, if you take, then you have 50-50 odds of making trades work in your favor. Now, in directional trade, if your risk reward is so poor that you are not even making 1 rupee for the 1 rupee that you are risking, then it is needless to say that you cannot make money trading directionally using such systems. So if any such handles that you see that they are posting so many random charts and without you know uh, uh, without trying to back it up with the with what has happened with each one of those trades, then it is impossible to make money using those charts that they have posted. So anyone who posts such charts, you can simply ignore these people, and look for something else if you are looking to learn from someone. Pawan has requested again. I have made him speaker again. So that was on chart that people post. Shubham, are you back, or you're still not around? Shout it out when you are whenever you are back or able to speak. Okay. The next thing that I wanted to share was on hindsight analysis. What is the point of posting an analysis after the event has happened? Okay, so many handles are there, who would post that, okay, this strategy for the day worked. That IVs were not good in Bank Nifty, IVs were only good in Nifty, and selling straddle was wise. So selling straddles worked in Nifty. Or the put side has a lot of skew, so put ratios worked well in today's environment. So anyone who posts hindsight analysis, how does it benefit their audience? I don't understand this thing. So anyone who is posting hindsight analysis, you can simply again ignore them. And then there are handles who will post long-term charts, Nifty, Bank Nifty long-term charts on a yearly time frame or a 3-month time frame. They will post such charts and using Elliott wave theory and whatnot. And then they will say that Nifty next is headed to 20,000, view negated below 16,000. How do you trade such charts? Current market price of Nifty is at, let's say, 17,600. Your profit target is 2,000 points away from this point in time. Your stop loss is also near about that much below from the current market price. So are you just going to buy Nifty Bs and wait for either 16,000 to hit or 20,000 to hit? So these are completely make people think that some of the great these are great. Another problem with such analysis is that most often it will work because these analysis will be on the long side trade only. So they are posting long side trade with 30, 35% or 10% away stop, then more often than not, this is going to work. So again, identify the things, refrain yourself from buying any products or services from these people. Shubham, uh,
Yeah. Am I audible?
yeah, you are.
Yeah. So, and on the hindsight analysis part, actually, this is something which irks me probably the most. Is when people post hindsight analysis followed by naked option buys. Right on the call side, put side, particularly, you would see this in Nifty, Bank Nifty. Typically around the most common support and resistance levels. I mean, I would highly suggest to take all these miracle buys with caution. Most likely, uh, in all likelihood, these are trades that either have not been taken, or these are trades that have been taken at support and resistance level by buying in one account and selling in another. And this is something from my personal experience. I'm telling you that I know people who do this in Calcutta. Sadly, I do know them, and they are not on Twitter. Otherwise, I would not have been hesitant in calling them out. But this happens, wherein they are running Telegram groups and they are posting hindsight analysis over there on the basis of naked option buys, and they are posting screenshots most regularly. So this is on hindsight analysis, and another thing I would like to talk about, which has come into my notice, I think, in the recent earning seasons, actually, that there are some handles that actually do an analysis of earnings pricing on the basis of result reactions. It is as if HCL Tech has moved 6% post earnings. They are saying the earnings is pricing in only 4%. It made sense to go long gamma. If HDFC Bank, which has actually given huge moves in the last couple of earnings, if you see last 3-4 quarters, they are saying that a 3% straddle pricing was warranted. And as you can see, HDFC Bank has not moved 3%. So short wall has made money. So even in these handles, I mean, I am not calling them out as red flags of frauds, but I mean, you should take such things with a pinch of salt, because nobody can accurately estimate earnings pricings. It is very random, and there is actually no proof to suggest that anyone can actually estimate whether an earnings is priced reasonably or not. It is all what your experience has been in the last couple of quarters or anything. I don't think there's any backtesting to suggest an earnings pricing in a straddle of 3% versus 5% would make the 3% cheap and the 5% expensive. So yeah, over to you, Ashish.
Yeah, I think nobody can forecast earnings. We have been trading earnings for a few years now. Pathik is also on this spaces session, and I think Pathik, if he wants to speak, I'll make him speaker. I think we all know that earnings, when we are taking those wall short trades, we don't know which ones would make money and which ones would turn out to be loser. It's just that it plays out well over a large number of trades. So that's how it works. And Shubham, there are people who have requested to speak. I'm not able to see those requests. I think from Vaibhav, the rich trader, and the another one is one second, Arjun, AIG Finzer. So these people had requested earlier to speak. So if you can promote them to speaker, okay, I'll probably give them
Uh,
a.
Vaibhav, go ahead. I have
Uh,
made you speaker.
and also AIG Finzer.
Hello. Hello.
Vaibhav, go ahead first,
Hello.
uh, and then move to others.
Hello.
Yes, Vaibhav, you are audible.
Okay. So, starting like I have certain points which I have noted down and which I have observed over the period of time. So, just starting from the MTM part, yes. So that's the most easiest part. If someone is doing MTM daily, even I am doing MTM daily, and if I start any webinar, right, based on the MTM, people can come. So first, Ashish has already added, yeah, you should question anyone for their ledger, and for 2 3 ledger, if somebody is not giving 2 3 years ledger, then obviously he may be a con, which is quite evident, because if anyone is posting their P&L on a regular basis, then he or she should be confident of giving the ledger. Then the second point, I will go, which one of my close friend, my college roommate, have experienced. He is very new to trading, and he joined Twitter, uh, seeing FinTweet community, and there is one handle which I won't take name here. He has a very large following, so he took some course from that guy. He took course from couple of guys, like 2 3 handles are there, and that guy sold him one indicator. So that indicator, he showed to me that this is the indicator I am using, and I am buying above this indicator and selling below this indicator, and when I checked, it's simple super trend. So one guy, uh, he purchased that indicator by paying 10,000 bucks. So like people are selling super trend in 10,000 bucks, man. So what is this happening? So
Vaibhav, people are selling 920 straddle strategy in a 1 day workshop for 15,000.
yeah, so yeah, that was also like one point I have written. But super trend, he is just and he's saying to me, I got the holy grail kind of thing, and that I'm buying the Bank Nifty on this 5 minute chart intraday when super it closes above super trend, and when it's closed down, I'll reverse. So he purchased that indicator from 10 in by paying 10,000. So I felt really bad for him. I told him, man, you really don't need to pay such bucks. But still, he is not. I told him that I can give you mentorship free of cost. I can teach you, but he's not ready. He said, man, if nothing comes free, I'll pay, and I am getting these indicators. And then again, he, after getting conned by one guy, he went to another one that is also on a Twitter, and he's also, renowned kind of person. So he's sharing trading tips on Telegram. So Telegram is also like one area which is a very gray area, I will say. If someone is, giving you daily trades on Telegram, and he is not SEBI registered, like, I would say it's, after certain time, either he should be SEBI registered, or it's kind of a, gray area. Even many people, I have very less followers on Twitter, and many people have asked me on DM that please start your Telegram channel, please give trading tips, and we are ready to pay. We are ready to pay even for the mentorship. So this area is, a money making machine. Anyone can make lot of money here apart from trading. And anyone, if you are going to anyone, make sure that uh, you are definitely checking the P&L statement of that person for 3 years. Then I have written other points as well. So there are certain handles which I came across in earlier years when I joined Twitter. Now I am not following those. So what they will do, like they will, tweet a stock name, and they will share the name that I have bought this stock, which is a very less liquid. And as soon as you guy will see, and people will start buying that stock, and if it's a low float stock, price will jump 3 to 4% easily for that stock. So that is also a, red flag which you can consider. Don't buy any stock if someone is posting that I have purchased this stock at 130 price, and when you will start going to buy it, it will definitely be 134 to 135 if if it's a low float and the market cap is less than 1000 crores. So that is one area, like, that could be a probably a red flag, and I would definitely avoid such handles to follow. Then one thing I another, as Ashish shared, that many people post that if you are buying a certain stock, and it view negated below this price and kind of stuff. So I've seen people, they will put a price, buy Reliance at 2000, stop loss is 1980, and first target is 2010, then our second target is 2040, then 2070. And as soon as the first target get hits, which is, stop loss 20 रुपए का and first target is 10 rupees, and that guy will say you can book, like, stock will come back and it will hit the stop loss of 1980, and that guy will say it had taken the target and profits are booked at 2010. तो आप 10 रुपए के प्रॉफिट पे आप कह रहे हो लोगों को कि मेरा टारगेट मेट हो गया है, यहाँ पर प्रॉफिट बुक कर लीजिए, और 20 रुपए का स्टॉप था। लेकिन जब आपने पहला जो ट्वीट करा था उसमें यू वर सेइंग the R1, R2, and R3, three different targets, like T1, T2, T3. So this is also one kind of a red flag, I will say. Don't fall into this trap if someone is giving you three targets, four targets with one stop loss. And अगर कोई एक टारगेट मीट हो जाता है, then he will you just say कि भाई हो गया अपना काम तो, और यहाँ पर मेरी
and
एक्यूरेसी 80% है.
and more importantly, right, price they ask, right? Most likely, in fact, all the TV analysts, if you see, when they post any call, you won't get that price, you won't get the fill at that price at which they are recommending,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that is most of the people who are posting charts and buy at this levels, view negative below this level. So that is true for most of the people, I think.
So Ashish, I started this
Yeah.
journey from there itself. जैसे I started watching, CNBC Awaaz, and start buying on. There was one program that used to came at 7:30 a.m. 2020, where people used to share top 20 stocks की IPL की तरह. So these are my batsmen and these are like bowlers for today. And I used to buy those stocks. They will give some recommendation, and when I started buying, man, what the, like, I'll see he is giving that I have to buy at 20 and the stock is opening at 24. So, and one of the guy from CNBC, he used to do like, he I will not take the name, but you all must be knowing that he used to do insider trading, and now he has been sacked off. So this is a really big, like, TV channels are making fool of us. So we really need to know, like, where,
100%.
what are the
Yeah,
areas we need to.
100%. Yeah, Vaibhav, in fact, I'll tell you about the CNBC thing. I am always envious about the fact that their entries are so good. I mean, the
Yeah,
prices they can get, I have never been able to get a price improvement in my life.
yeah, man,
I mean, on a long term basis, it's impossible.
it's
Generally, there
not
is negative
possible.
slippage.
Yes,
These
it's
guys
not.
have positive slippage. Secondly, they will say, "Ki boss, buy at 280, target 300." Okay, the stock will make a high of 295. ठीक है, उसके बाद वो 295 से गिर के it'll come back to 270 and they will say stock made a high of 295. Hope everyone booked.
Yeah.
This is great, yeah. I mean, if you have predefined targets and stop losses to take a discretionary call based on a TV analyst on CNBC, it's almost impossible for its viewers. So I don't know what their objective is.
Yeah.
And I would like to point out that I wrote a thread on a call given on I think Mindtree or Emphasis. They choose these illiquid stock options, ATM calls when the stock is in momentum, and they say buy at 180 when the call price is already around 185, 190 due to the liquidity. Secondly, they say target is was 220 and it's an intraday momentum call. So no matter what, you have to book it today itself. The call must have made a high of 205 and it closed below the entry price. Forget about the entry price. You would never have gotten an entry. After 3 o'clock, it fell below the price. And on Monday, so this is Friday, on
Yeah.
Monday, the stock gaps up. So the call goes from 170 something to 220. And that guy is coming up and saying, मैंने बोला था, see, nobody's appreciating. I gave such a brilliant call. Arey boss, you're contradicting yourself on so many levels. Intraday momentum call, entry missed, exit never happened. So I mean, it's beyond absurd.
So, Shubham, based on this, I'll add two more points. So, when I started trading in 2017, and I subscribed to this Money Control Pro, where you will just pay 1,000 rupees for a year and you will get calls from renowned faces of TV channels, Prakash Gaba, and there are few more, Nirmal Bang, and all those. And same thing used to happen, you'll get a message that buy this stock at this price, at 84 rupees, and target is this 90 rupees with stop loss 81 kind of stuff, and when the message will come, the price will be already 87. So they were also fooling. I said, man, I have wasted 1,000 rupees, it's like. And there were several lot of messages used to come, and all were crap. Like, you could not trade any single stock out of them.
Weber, in fact, time, as
Yeah.
well as if you've taken any subsequent trades, which will definitely not run up for you because something which works for a TV analyst will definitely not work for you over a long run.
Yeah, yeah.
So I mean, that is
So,
the real cost.
Shubham, the point is here is that 1,000 rupees. It's not about 1,000 bucks, but it's the volume game, because the pricing is so low that, because the cost is very low. If the cost would have been 10,000, there would be hardly very less number of people paying. But the cost is 1,000 rupees, so it's completely a volume game where they are generating the volumes. So that is, their theory in this, which I believe that they are milking people like this.
Right. So
Right.
I think we'll let Gordon speak next, and then Raghav, and then Ashutosh.
Ashish, I have just two more points. Two more
Yeah,
points.
yeah, Vaibhav, you finish what
Yeah,
you
yeah.
started, and then
So,
I'm saying that
okay,
three
yeah.
people, these three
Okay,
people
yeah,
can
sure,
go.
sure. I'll hardly take 5 minutes more. So, another red flag is what I have observed in recent days, that there are some new guys. There are some new people who haven't even tweeted 100 tweets or 1,000 tweets, but their followers are 12,000, 15,000. They are doing that by paying the promotion fees to the Twitter. I will definitely stay away from those, and I would request everyone else to stay away, because their purpose is definitely a marketing here. They haven't tweeted 1,000 tweets and they are followers in more than 10,000, and their purpose is, eventually, if someone is putting a money for promotion on Twitter, then definitely they are going to milk others. Then how they will, कोई अगर मार्केटिंग कर रहा है, पैसा लगा रहा है, तो उसको अपनी इनकम जो अपना स्पेंड करा है, तो वो निकालना ही निकालना है. So this is one red flag which I have noticed. Maybe others have not noticed or not, but I will definitely stay away from those kind of people. and I would give this suggestion to everyone else. Apart from that, then there are some catfish accounts. Even Ashish knows and Shubham knows. So many of us knows that there are certain catfish accounts. You put a I change my I am Vaibhav Anand. I'll change to Vaibhavi Anand, and I put a DP of my wife or some beautiful girl. My follower will reach 10,000
दो हजार से बीस
within
हजार हो
1 month.
दो हजार से 20,000 हो जाएंगे.
Yes, yeah. So those catfish accounts are big no-no for me, and I think it should be big no-no for you. There are certain people. I think if you want to know the name, I can DM you. If anyone want to like know the name, but there are many catfish accounts which have followers in 20K, 40K, 50K, and are there on the Twitter, which have joined even in the last 1 or 2 years, but their followers are growing rapidly just because it's a girl with some a non picture, or maybe it's original picture, even I don't know. So stay away from those people, and if you are following, just follow for fun, follow for stalking or whatever you are doing. So but don't fall prey to that person. So that are the all like points which I have summed up, which I have written, Ashish. So that would
All
be all
right.
from my side.
Yeah, thanks, Vaibhav. Okay, before you go, Gordon, Pawan is raising his hand continuously. Yes,
Yes,
Pawan, please go ahead.
I just wanted to add one thing. Okay, see, this also in itself is a business model, and there will always be consumers because there are so many new entries in the market, like every week, every day, and so on. We have to understand that we cannot come out and complain that, oh, this guy is selling a bad service, because there will always be somebody selling something which is not up to the mark. Like, come on, we're living in a country where Fair and Lovely was sold for 30 years and people used it and they thought, like, it will change their complexion. So there is always a consumer for the product. All we can do is, like, we do need to have some sense of what we are buying. And that's the thing. Like, the whole discussion should be at a point, like, we cannot come and bitch about, like, oh, this guy is this guy is that, because it's gonna be there, man. Like, if you it's like, that story from the mythology where you keep cutting heads and every drop gives birth to a new monster, kind of a situation. There'll always be handles who don't have a face, handles who don't have a name, and they are trainers and they are posting, screenshots. They're doing everything. They claim to do so many good things every day, and they are teaching people. Like, nobody don't even know their names or anything. So it's always gonna be there, because eventually this is a business model. There are consumers, there are service providers, and it'll always be there. All we can do is, like, do share, hesitant, without being hesitant, we can share the experiences so people can fit something into that stencil to filter out some shit from, the genuine people out there.
Right. The question you have to ask here is that if someone has a really profitable strategy and he's in this game for years now, there are handles who have been trading for 10 years, 12 years. They are 100K plus followings, and they've been trading for 10 years, 12 years, and they have systems that make 40% CAGR over the uh, in the long run. Then why the heck in first place are they selling those profitable systems to retail traders? Why can't they use their own money and to generate huge sum out of that? So that is the question you need to ask. I'm not talking about someone who has less capital and who has just started trading and also started training. I'm talking about handles who have 100K plus followings, have been trading for 10 years, kind of a horizon, and have systems that have 40% CAGR, and still inventing systems every 6 months and then selling a new system to retail traders. All right, Gordon, you go ahead, please.
Yeah. Hi. Hi, everyone. So I don't want to repeat all the points on M2M and hindsight analysis and all that you have already made. I think all of them are very very valid points. I just want to touch upon a different aspect. One is for me a red flag about a person is how interactive he is on Twitter, right? For example, see, if a person is interactive, he participates in a lot of tweets, likes, retweets, response. If someone asks him a question, he gives a response. If someone trolls him, he may respond back with a civilized way, sticking to the point. I think those are some of the things which help me realize that this person is genuine. Okay, he may or may not be profitable. That's the least of the that's not the subject matter of this space, I believe. The point is, as if you see a person who, as soon as tweets something negative about him, he blocks you, or generally, if he's very, if he only likes to have sycophants sort of around him, if he only likes people who are always praising him, and there are certain people who don't follow anyone. They so I'm just trying to say, these are some of the behavioral aspects which sort of make me realize that this person is not someone who is genuine. He cannot take criticism, which I think is a big red flag for me. There are many people who are there, and you can immediately recognize or sort of understand whom I am probably referring to. But there are many people on Twitter like that, who are great, who will immediately block you, or who will immediately that is one aspect, I think, is something which I feel is one should keep in mind. And the second thing is that also a trader's lifestyle. I feel that if someone is genuinely profitable, and if he is displaying his profit screenshots, big profit screenshots every day on Twitter, one thing is clear, that he wants publicity, or rather, he takes pride in showing his profits. Right now, if that is the kind of a person, then automatically, ideally, his lifestyle should reflect. If you see someone, whose lifestyle is not commensurate with what kind of profit, that also is a red flag. So I just wanted to touch upon these two behavioral aspects. Thanks.
Sorry, I was speaking on mute. Thanks, Gordon. Raghav, are you still there? Yes, go ahead, Raghav, please.
Hi guys, am I audible? Hi, am I audible? Okay, I guess I am. 100 देख लिया मैंने. So I just wanted to talk just a little bit about a more subtle fallacy that I see in some of these paid webinars that are being sold, and it's associated with backtesting, which I have some expertise on. So I took a paid webinar on buying options. Option selling strategies are dime a dozen, but to get a good buying option strategy would be like a great hedge against your selling option strategy, right? So that was sort of the allure, and I paid 5,000 rupees for it. So it wasn't much, and I did get some value out of it. It was a backtested strategy which they were giving. It was a different way for me to look at the market. So they shared the result, they shared the strategy. I backtested the strategy on my own. The results seemed to match, and when I put it to paper trading, this is where I see a lot of people making mistakes with backtesting strategies. When I put it to paper trading, the result was completely different. So with in-sample data, the strategy looked really, really good. But with out-sample data, which is paper trading, the strategy completely crumbled. And like I started paper trading maybe a week after the webinar was held. Since that time, and it's been months, the strategy has been in perpetual drawdown, right? So isko matlab in machine learning we call it in sample khiladi, out sample anadi. Now, like, I don't think the guy selling the webinar was malicious, because they deployed their own capital on the strategy as well, but they were erroneous. They did make a mistake. So, like, this red flag that sort of came to me when I joined this webinar was that if somebody offers you a backtested strategy and they don't have any differentiation, they don't give you any differentiation between in-sample backtesting ke returns and out-sample backtesting ke returns, that is a major red flag. Like machine learning, it's considered very standard practice that you divide your data set into these non-overlapping groups. There is one set which is called the training set, there's a validation set, and then there's a test set. ट्रेनिंग सेट पे आप अपना डेटा ट्रेन करते हो, वैलिडेशन पे आप अपनी जो भी पैरामीटर ऑप्टिमाइजेशन करनी है वो करते हो, एंड टेस्ट सेट पे यू टेस्ट इट आउट टू सी हाउ द मॉडल परफॉर्म्स, right? Before, this is before going live. So backtesting, you can simplify it a bit by having a training set and a test set, which should be again non-overlapping, and the test set can be your paper trading results also. But paper trading is important. आजकल ये hashtag 920 straddle बहुत popular चल रहा है, which is something which I found really interesting, because the strategy is very, very simple. And what I see is a lot of guys are making the same mistake. Okay, they backtest, they optimize parameters, and then they just go live. So that runs the risk of what we call this overfitting, curve fitting, data dredging, data jo bhi aap bolte ho. Matlab, there's so many terms for it, because it's such a popular fallacy, and this fallacy, matlab, everybody experiences it once or twice when they are like when they get introduced to machine learning. This is the first thing they're told, कि boss ये इससे बच के रहना, right? So like back to 920 strategy, I see a lot of people just tweaking parameters. There's a lot of backtesting services out there, but before, like, the prerequisite to using any kind of backtesting must be that you must understand the difference between in sample returns and out sample returns, and you need to have some out sample data with you before you actually go and start backtesting. That's the only point I wanted to make, guys.
Right. Very, very
Yeah,
valid point,
thanks,
Raghav.
Raghav. Yeah, I mean, very valid points. In fact, hello, am I audible?
Yeah, Shubham, go ahead.
Yeah. So I was so you mentioned about backtesting and curve fitting. I mean, I have attended one webinar in my initial days where they actually backtested short wall strategies. And 2 years later, I know for a fact that you cannot do short wall systematically. It's a recipe for disaster. No matter how many years of backtested data you have for short wall, it is not possible to sell options on a systematic basis. You can't come in. I mean, obviously the 920 is having its fair. A fair level of success. But at the same time, I think, especially for positional short walls, you can't do it systematically, and you can easily curve fit all backtests to show that any options that you sell on stock, you can curve fit the deltas, you can curve fit the duration, the timing of entry, exit, everything, to show that a particular strategy is very profitable over the long run. But in reality, it is very rarely so. So people who buy these backtested systems, I mean, it's a recipe for disaster. Yeah, go ahead, Reb.
Okay, before I let Vaibhav and Ashutosh come in again, I would share a couple of experiences. One is mine, and one is another friend's. So the famous workshop that I had taken, I was told at that point in time that there are about 4 5 positional systems that will be discussed and shared during the conference, and then those systems, if traded combined, then it can generate about 35 to 40% returns. So I took that 35 to 40% CAGR on face of it. If someone with such a huge following, and if someone who is respected so much in the FinTwit community, then what he's saying must be true. So I did that mistake, having taken that at the face of it. So if you are, followers here is no measure of right or wrong. So don't go by that. When I, when I took those systems, backtested those myself, then what I figured out is the best system out of those 4 5 systems was generating 14 15% kind of a CAGR over the historical backtest of 10 years. So that is the extent to which people would go and lie about their systems. The another experience which I was talking about, one friend who has attended again a seminar and had taken a system. The backtest results that were shared by the strategy creator was entirely different to the backtest that he had done. The strategy creator backtest had about 35% CAGR, but when this guy conducted the same backtest, it was not even positive returns. It was net net. Hello, am I audible?
Hello, yeah,
Yes.
Ashish, you are audible. Yeah,
Okay, I got
we lost you
between. I think.
before.
Yes, you are.
Okay, I think I'm not sure till what point you guys were able to hear me, but anyway, I'll let Ashutosh speak now.
Yeah, hi everyone. So, first of all, yeah, मैंने आप सबका सुना, and I want to share something of my own. The point, yeah, the thing that I have to share is I have a lot of my friends have come into trading now in the last couple of months, and हर कोई के साथ में the thing is they call me every week एक बार and they tell me भाई इतना नुकसान हो गया या भाई सिखा दे मेरे को trading. They have seen my trading and everything, so मेरे को सिखा दे and they are like that. But एक दिन वो सीखते हैं and they are back to what they are doing. Instagram पे course लेना है या YouTube से सीखना है and all those stuff. Then they will come back to me the next week and they will like भाई फिर से सिखा दे या कुछ बता दे. But they are never ready to put in the work or the greed that they have कि कैसे भी तुरंत पैसा बनाना है and all these stuff. So how हम लोग यहाँ पे actually the point is how we can advise retail people or how we can help them out कि ये सब नहीं करना है या ये तरीका नहीं है पैसे बनाने का. So what do you guys think कि कैसे वो लोग को कन्विंस करे कि ये सही तरीका नहीं है मार्केट में आने का? Because we can do this कि कौन फ्रॉड है कौन फ्रॉड नहीं है लाइक पूरा दिन बात कर सकते हैं बट अल्टीमेटली कुछ पॉइंट नहीं बनता अनलेस पीपल अंडरस्टैंड दैट दिस इज नॉट द वे टू गो. सो आई जस्ट वांट टू हियर यू आउट कि कैसे उनको समझाएं कि ऐसे नहीं होगा.
Yeah, we can do our bit the way we have been doing. I mean, everyone does their own bit in educating others at some point. Uh, but उतना आसान नहीं है. I know a few friends, like you said. एक friend है जो cash में काम करता है. He's buy करता है और so I have suggested him one very basic thing कि कभी भी जो बहुत ज्यादा गिर रहा है उसको मत ले या जो बहुत ज्यादा बढ़ रहा है उसको इंट्राडे शॉर्ट मत कर. But he makes that mistake again and again. He will short a share which is trading high for intraday, and then he will jump in positionally for the shares which are falling. So it is not easy. उतना आसान नहीं है लोगों को कन्विंस करना कि what they are doing is not right.
राइट सो एक बहुत ही रिसेंट इंसिडेंट है लाइक 2 days बैक. आई ट्राई टू एक हफ्ते तक मैंने उसके पीछे एफर्ट्स डाला कि प्लीज अंडरस्टैंड द वे यू आर डूइंग एंड व्हाट यू आर डूइंग इज रॉन्ग. एंड ही वाज लाइक कि नहीं मैंने 20 घंटे का यूट्यूब वीडियो देखा है एंड माई प्रोसेस इज राइट माई थॉट प्रोसेस राइट और माई स्ट्रैटेजी वॉट एवर मतलब आई एम डूइंग इज राइट एंड तू बोल रहा है सही बोल रहा होगा बट आई हैव ऑल्सो पुट इन अ लॉट ऑफ वर्क एंड आई थिंक दैट आई एम राइट. सो दिस इज समथिंग कि उनको लग रहा है कि यार आई हैव पुट इन 20 आवर्स का मैंने यूट्यूब का कोर्स किया है वीडियो देखा है या इंस्टाग्राम पे मैं किसी को फॉलो करता हूँ हु हैज अ लाख फॉलोअर्स और समथिंग. मतलब ट्विटर तो छोड़ ही दो वहाँ पे यहाँ पे सारे इंस्टाग्राम वाले हैं. एवरीवन थिंक्स कि इंस्टाग्राम पे 1 लाख फॉलोअर्स वाले हैं.
Ashutosh, one of the firm beliefs that I have is anyone who is seeking advice, they are not seeking advice to actually act upon it. They are
एब्सोल्युटली
just seeking
एब्सोल्युटली
they are just seeking for validation. So if you tell them okay what they are doing is right, they will do it. If you tell them that no, what you are doing is not right, you should do it this way, they will still do what they wanted to do. They are just
एब्सोल्युटली.
seeking your advice for validation, not to actually act upon it. Vaibhav, you wanted to add something?
Yeah. So आशीष या जो आशु भाई ने क्वेश्चन पूछा है इट्स वेरी राइट क्योंकि मोस्ट ऑफ द माय फ्रेंड्स आल्सो लाइक they are also trading एक one of my friend what he is doing उसका मैसेज आता है कि यार ये जेपी एसोसिएट 4 रुपए का हो गया, एक दे दूं, आम्रपाली इतने का हो गया, 3 रुपए का, इससे नीचे क्या जाएगा? सो व्हेन आई टेल हिम डोंट बाय दीज फॉलिंग नाइफ्स, ही विल से नहीं नहीं यार, इससे नीचे क्या जाएगा, यही ये मैंने पढ़ा है कहीं है, ये है। सो पॉइंट वही है, पीपल आर डूइंग दिस, वी हैव टू टीच देम कि ये नहीं करना है, बट स्टिल वो नहीं होते। एंड इट्स ट्रू कि बेसिकली दे आर लुकिंग फॉर अ कंफर्मेटिव बायस फ्रॉम अस, एंड इफ यू से नो दे आर स्टिल गोइंग टू डू इट। तो
राइट
उनको
राइट। सो अपने
रोकने के लिए,
राइट अपने बैकयार्ड में अपने ठीक नहीं कर पा रहे, अपने फ्रेंड्स को अगर अपने कन्विंस नहीं कर पा रहे, सिखा नहीं पा रहे, देन आई थिंक समथिंग समथिंग इज वेरी रॉन्ग हियर।
सो अर्शु भाई, व्हाट लाइक आई विल सजेस्ट ऑलवेज, अगर जितने भी मेरे फ्रेंड्स होते हैं ना, मैं उनको सीधा मना करता हूँ, डोंट गो इनटू द ट्रेडिंग, इट्स नॉट इजी, इट्स नॉट ए कप ऑफ टी।
बट तू कर रहा है ना, तू कमा रहा है, मेरे को मना कर रहा है, तू कमा रहा है, तू दारू पी
नहीं
रहा है,
नहीं
मेरे को मना कर रहा
नहीं, बट आई आस्क हिम टू स्टार्ट विद इन्वेस्टिंग फर्स्ट, कि स्टार्ट इन्वेस्टिंग, स्टार्ट बाइंग
है।
निफ्टी
बट मजा
बीज
नहीं आ
और
रहा है,
इंडेक्स फंड।
मजा नहीं आ रहा है। मजा भी तो चाहिए ना।
नहीं वो, सो यू आर राइट एट सर्टेन पॉइंट कि हाँ वो है, बट सो व्हाट आई टेल देम, आई
मतलब the point I'm trying to make is there is a natural progression. So लोग आते हैं with this quick rich scheme kind of thing कि स्टॉक मार्केट है, तुरंत पैसा बन जाएगा, ये हो जाएगा, वो हो जाएगा, and then they make losses or then they try to understand
या
stuff,
या या
and then they conclude कि ठीक है, either this is a gamble, या मेरे से नहीं होगा, ये पूरा सट्टा है, और try to learn something, they do investments, और वो नेचुरल प्रोग्रेशन है लोगों का, लाइक
सो
हम लोग का भी यही नेचुरल प्रोग्रेशन रहा है। सो अपने हम लोग ने भी किया, यहाँ पे हर कोई का स्टोरी है कि मैंने ये वेबिनार किया, मैंने ये किया, एंड देन वी लॉस्ट मनी, एंड देन वी ट्राई टू लर्न, एंड वी आर व्हाट वी आर राइट नाउ। सो कुछ इसमें से क्विट कर दिए, कुछ यहाँ पे बात कर रहे हैं।
आशुतोष, मुझे लग रहा है
व्हाट
तेरा
आई
तेरा
जनरली
अ, आशुतोष, तेरा क्वेश्चन जो है वो ये नहीं है कि क्या करना है, तेरा क्वेश्चन ये है कि इस स्पेसिस का आउटकम क्या होने वाला
एब्सोल्युटली, बिकॉज गप करने में तो मजा आता है यार, करते रहते हैं, बट होने होने वाला क्या
है। हाँ, so
नहीं,
I'll tell you, I've been
है?
active on Twitter for the last 4 years, I think, and I've been trying to educate people on these things, that how they should not get scammed. Now, फिर भी लोग स्कैम होते ही है, but there are a certain people who have saved themselves. I keep getting these DMs that, okay boss, I uh, came across your profile, and then I read your blog, and then I saw this, and then I reached out to that trainer, asked for that, and then he denied. So immediately उसको पता चल गया कि वो बंदा fraud है. There are few people who have been saved with this exercise, so I won't say that it is futile completely, but yeah, point तुम्हारा फिर भी valid है. So it is not going to happen over, obviously, for
Ashish,
anyone.
one last point I want to add, okay, because we started discussing with the red flags and con artists. So I just want to add one more point, and I think I might have to leave after that. And it's a very important point because I've personally faced that. And initially, when I used to see things working, I never understood the concept of scalability. Okay, so if I thought like, okay, कोई चीज अगर 10 लॉट के साथ चल रही है तो 50 के साथ भी चलेगी, 100 के साथ भी चलेगी. And as a beginner trader, somebody who do not have enough education about options like instruments and things like that, you generally never care about it until it comes and hits you. So when I used to approach people, and I've paid a lot of money for training and things, I never bought strategies as such, but I tried to find traders who are trading big, who at least claim to trade big, and try to replicate what they were doing and things like that. Have to be very clear about, like, there are people who like to post their trades on, but they want to hide the quantity. They can come up with 1,000 excuses about it कि भाई मैं क्यों छुपा. There's no reason to hide what you trade, because there are traders who post their trades and they are trading insane size, like size you cannot see on regular basis, generally on an average, you know. Now, I am nobody to ask you like, okay, show me your, like, there is no liability for anybody to show their order book to anyone. Like, if I'm trading, I'm posting screenshots. If I go to, let's say, Gaurav is there, right? I say, Gaurav, and show me your order book, what you're trading.
Uh, Vipul, are you speaking? I can't hear anyone. Is anyone speaking right now?
You are audible. No one
Okay,
else is.
okay,
Pawan
okay.
was
All right. I
speaking,
think
but I think we lost him. So Pawan
yeah,
was
yeah, yeah.
speaking, but he
I
became
want to say,
listener suddenly.
Okay,
I
Vipul,
want to
you.
say,
या सो आई वुड लाइक टू से मैंने बहुत साल मतलब मार्केट में मैंने शुरू में बहुत कोर्सेज किए। शुरू में एक ही बंदे के मैंने उसके ऑलमोस्ट सारे कोर्सेज किए, लेकिन मैंने कभी उससे उसका पीएनएल नहीं पूछा कि आपका पीएनएल क्या है। उसने फिर मेरे को लास्ट में गान का भी एक 40,000 का चेपा। सब कुछ करते करते एक दिन मैंने आशीष जी को कॉल किया। मतलब मैं बहुत परेशान था क्योंकि ट्रेडिंग में थोड़ा लॉस हो रहे थे। परेशान था कि यार कुछ भी वर्क नहीं करता, और कभी भी मैंने काफी साल अपने आप से ट्रेड नहीं की। मतलब उसने जो सिस्टम बताया उसी से ही ट्रेड की। 10 में से 6 बार उसके सिस्टम ने जो बताया वो ट्रेड की, 4 बार हार गया, 2 बार जीता, लेकिन नेट नेट हारता रहा। आशीष जी ने मुझे एक लाइन बोली कि विपुल, आप अगर 21 EMA को भी अगर अपना सिस्टम बना लो, उसी को डिसिप्लिन से फॉलो कर लो, तो भी आप प्रॉफिटेबल होगे। और मैंने इनको काफी टाइम से मैं पहले वॉच कर रहा था। इन्होंने जो सुभाषिप नंदी का वो जो सारा सिस्टम समझाया था वो भी मेरे को क्लियर हो गया। फिर इन्होंने एक होम लोन के बारे में लिखा था कि सॉरी मेरी तबीयत खराब है, मुझे भी कोरोना है, तो मेरी आवाज थोड़ी ऐसे वाइब्रेट होगी। तो इन्होंने एक होम लोन के वो लिखा कि आपको क्यों नहीं ट्रेडिंग फुल टाइम करनी चाहिए, क्योंकि लोन्स होते हैं ये वो भी मैं कर चुका था, मतलब बहुत प्रॉब्लम्स झेल के। जब इन्होंने एक लाइन बोली कि 21 EMO को भी अगर आप बना लोगे तो वही सिस्टम है, उस दिन मेरे दिमाग में काफी चेंजेस आए। मतलब कि यार व्हाई नॉट, मतलब ये बंदा कह रहा है तो इसकी ये बात सुनो। बहुत मेरे को कौन आर्टिस्ट मिले, 2-3 अच्छे लोग मिले जो जेन्युइन ट्रेडर हैं, जिन्होंने अपना पीएनएल दिखाया, जो सिखाया। और उसको मैं अब अपना पिछले 1 साल से मैं उसको फॉलो कर रहा हूँ। एक ही सेटअप को फॉलो कर रहा हूँ। वो अच्छे पैसे बना देता है, मेरे को रोज के 3-4 हजार देता है। और मतलब मैं खुश हूँ क्योंकि मैं जर्मन हूँ और मैं अपनी जॉब भी करता हूँ, तो मतलब ठीक है, मेरा अच्छा चल रहा है सिस्टम। लेकिन वो लाइन जो भाई साहब ने बताई आशीष जी ने, उसने मेरा सारा माइंडसेट चेंज कर दिया कि नहीं, एक जेन्युइन ट्रेडर जो जेन्युइन ट्रेडर है वो कुछ कह रहा है तो उसकी। फिर फिर बंदे मिलते गए, फिर आगे मतलब सिस्टम बनता गया। लेकिन अब मतलब मैं भूल गया मैं कहना क्या चाह रहा था, क्योंकि मैं अभी वीकनेस बहुत ज्यादा है। लेकिन आई होप आप लोग समझ सकते हो, मैं ज्यादा टाइम नहीं लूंगा। ठीक है।
थैंक्स विपुल, यू वर टू काइंड। और कोविड है, रेस्ट वेस्ट करो थोड़ा। टेक केयर एंड
बहुत
थैंक्स।
ज्यादा फैला है जर्मन
कंपल्सिव।
में। हर जर्मनी में जिसको भी मैं जानता हूँ, 100 बंदों को जानता हूँ, 100 में से 100 को हो रखा है। बहुत प्रॉब्लम है यहाँ पे इस समय।
ओके, ऑल राइट, टेक केयर। कंपल्सिव
Yes.
ट्रेडर।
Am I audible?
या यू आर।
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, I think Ashish and Shubham, I think you guys are doing a fabulous job. I think even if we can save some people, I think the objective, as Ashutosh was saying, कि अगर कुछ भी हो रहा है, right? If we can save about 10 people or 20 people on Twitter, right? I'm pretty new to Twitter, just joined some time back. Been trading for about a year now, less than a year, right? So I've been seeing a lot of tweets and everything, and I believe whatever is possible can be edited, right? Be it video, be it MTM screenshots, be it taking kite offline and not actually trading and trading in two accounts. You can do that. One of the things that I've seen, right, and which I've seen, which I've observed a lot, is uh, you open an account with us, right? So basically, what they are doing is they're not selling any systems, they're not giving you any tips, they're giving you training. In fact, they're saying, but you open the account with us, right, and we will give you calls, right? तुम्हें कुछ नहीं करना है, तुम्हें सिर्फ हमारे साथ account खोलना है, right? So the objective is to take more and more trades in their account, and you corner off the brokerage, basically the 50% brokerage, and you make your basically every day you earn X amount. And if you have like 1,000 or 2,000 odd people, right, you have a Telegram channel where you give option buying, and you obviously trade in two accounts, and you show the PNL, you show a profit every day. And people are lured into obviously option buying because people with small capital don't want to scale up in a very easy fashion. They want to make fast money. They don't want to go into cash trading, right? Option trading karne sabko, right? People want to go option buying, and these typically are option buying people, right, who proclaim that our setup is 90% or 95%
or 80% accurate, and you'll never make losses, right? So that is one of the things that I've come across, and a lot of people have been falling for that, and I've seen that Telegram groups with insane followers, right, which are there basically, and they are in losses, and obviously the person at the helm is actually enjoying, and obviously his lifestyle is also good, right? And if you see, is obviously if you're making around 50,000 or a lakh or something per day basis, if you have a good followers and they are trading in their accounts and you're taking the brokerage, obviously your lifestyle is going to be good, right? So I'm not very sure how do you go about it, but this is something that I've also come across, which was not covered, I think.
Yeah, that's right. That's valid point. Pawan, you wanted to conclude what you were
Yes, yes.
saying, and then
I'll wrap it up very quickly. So what I was saying is that initially, like when we ask people, like, okay, show me your order book, there is no liability for anyone to show us anything, right? It's their personal trading books, their money, their everything. But the moment somebody asks you for, to offer is offering you any services, the detail that you want to know before you join them, and again the person again has the right to refuse, like I मेरे को नहीं दिखाना भाई, then you should not be joining them in the first place. Because I, when the person I'm mentioning, I won't be taking the name, but when I joined them and I was solely with the purpose of seeing, like, how this guy throws up 4,000 5,000 quantity in option buying on a daily basis. And when I sat with him on a live session and I saw him averaging options as the price was falling, I was like in shock. And initially, I was not, able to understand that, okay, this could be one off. But then that guy, like at 9:16, he would start punching F1, enter, F1, enter, F1, enter, and the quantity will start going up by 250, 250, 250, and I'll keep watching, the price keeps coming, the price keeps coming down, and then suddenly one green candle will show up and the price will just go up 20 points and he will book like good 1 lakh rupees. And again, I'm coming from a background where I was making 50, 60,000 rupees for good 6, 7 months, thinking कि भाई ये 1 lakh रुपए कैसे आने वाला है. So I was in awe, like, okay, this is something that I want to learn. But when I saw somebody averaging something for, and that time there was no limit, I think 2,500 was the limit. So until you get hit that 2,500 quantity mark, you keep buying, F1 enter, F1 enter, F1 enter. Once that is done, you start selling it out for just 20 points profit. And then in a live session of more than 200 people, when I saw that person making 15 lakh rupees loss, I was like, something is wrong. Like we all talk about, and it's not that I have not blown up a lot of capital learning. Like I've done all those mistakes, but I'm not teaching people. Like, I'm not having a session with 200 people live with me and doing this circus in front of them and claiming that to be a course or a service. So we need to understand that, one, the point I wanted to make across us, one, we need to see that, okay, how much size they are moving when we are trying to copy somebody, because a strategy that worked with 10 lots or 20 lots might not work with 100 and 200 lots. Second is like, when we get fascinated, because I believe it personally that every trader's end goal is to trade size. Otherwise, why are we even here, right? Like if I'm trading 100 today, I want to scale to 500 in 5 years. That's the end goal, like, because we want to make money at the end of the day. So when we have a plan that, okay, eventually we want to grow, of course, we cannot do that next month, but eventually when you want to grow, we look up to people who are already doing that. That's just natural. Like when I see somebody trading 500 lots, I see, like, and I look up to them. But how they are trading that 500 is also equally important. So just because somebody is posting uh, trades with size, we have to be, like, a bit careful how they're doing it. And sometimes, of course, we can do all our due diligences and we can just test so many parameters. Kabhi kabhi there will be no way you will end up pulling the 10,000, 20,000 out, put it on the table and then test the guy out. And it may work out, it might not work out as well. But again, then once you see that, okay, I paid this and I did not do anything, and you even lose money in the process, the first thing that people do is like कि भाई मेरे को किसी को नहीं बताना है कि मेरा कट गया. I want to keep it with myself and move on. And I'm not saying come out mudslinging and tell people this and just come out and call name calling, because there will always be some way that they will shut you down and you'll get abused on internet. That's not the way to do it. But still, if you can just leave a genuine review out, And if you have proof that, I mean, see, if I don't know, I don't know Ashutosh here, right? And I cannot come out and saying ki bhai he's doing this, he's doing that, and I have no right to say anything. But let's say if I purchase a service for 50,000 rupees from him, and then it doesn't work out, I have every right to come out and write about my experience. Then there is nobody who can stop me, because I paid for a service. I am a customer now, I paid for it, and I it did not go well for me, so I'm just writing my feedback. That is not trolling. Okay, generally whenever somebody is giving a feedback, people
Did we lose him?
Yeah, I guess we lost him. Actually, मेरे बारे पे
Yeah.
बोल रहा था ना.
नहीं, हाँ, इसीलिए the guy he was talking about, I think he's not even a trader. Actually, he's more of a trainer slash
अरे he's a
businessman.
joker. He's a
He's a
joker.
businessman
He's a
selling
joker.
systems.
नहीं, he's a
Yeah,
joker.
exactly.
जोकर बहुत फेमस है भाई वो.
भाई, हर
नहीं
जगह
ठीक है,
पे
अभी रिकॉर्ड हो रहा है.
he's
आए मेरे
everywhere.
पीछे.
He's everywhere present. He's present
Okay.
everywhere. Every system, every carnival, everywhere. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
All
Just
right,
Joker.
Hanish.
Hey, hi
हनीश
Ashish.
बोलिए आप. हाँ.
Ashish, we have spoken, a bit about me. So I usually trade commodities. Uh, I mean, on XNES as well as the MCX. So one thing I like to point out, a red flag can also be in, identifying an ecosystem of these so-called trainers. Not all trainers are bad, I would say, but yeah, I had joined one famous guy. um, so he was like, he also promoted other trainers, and I never understood, why he wants to promote them. And the quality was really bad for the other trainers, even though they also had big names and everything. So somewhere I realized it's like an ecosystem, scratching each other's back. um, Plus there are people who are selling it for 1500 and 2000 and 5000. I just don't understand. If my system is making consistent money, then why would I sell it for peanuts? uh, I mean, I would also like to point out that I had trained 5 people. um, and the reason was I wanted to scale up. I had a good offer from one of known businessman, and I wanted, the more people at least I have a group of 5 to 6 people. That was the reason I did that. But after that I lost it, because I couldn't bear these things, like selling my system for 1500 to 2000 points and all. So I just wanted to in short, I just wanted to bring about that there is also an ecosystem of these so-called trainers who are not very genuine. So one should also be careful about these guys. Yeah, thanks Ashish.
Yeah, right. Very valid point, Anish. I think we would look to close this in few minutes time. So, uh, anyone who's speaking, let's keep it short, just like
Hello,
Anish did.
hello. Ashish sir, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. बोलिए.
First of all,
Vikas, right?
thank you. Hello, sir. I am Kappu Sharma. I am new to
Okay, गप्पू बोलिए. हाँ जी,
या
बोलिए बोलिए.
या सर जैसे सर हम सर बिगनर्स की सर प्रॉब्लम ये होती है, जैसे सर हम किसी भी इंडस्ट्री में जाते हैं तो वहाँ पे वेल डिफाइंड कोर्स या वेल डिफाइंड इंस्टीट्यूशन होते हैं जिनसे हम अपनी कोचिंग ट्रेनिंग ले सकते हैं. बट सर यहाँ पे हम ट्रैप में फंसने का सबसे बड़ा रीज़न यही होता है कि यहाँ पे कोई वेल डिफाइंड कोई स्ट्रक्चर नहीं है कि आप यहाँ पे जाएंगे ऐसा करेंगे, तो इस वजह से हम ट्रैप में फंसते हैं. सर अगर
Right.
आप लोग अगर सर थोड़ा हम हमें इस चीज़ पे गाइड करें कि हाउ टू अप्रोच द मार्केट, हाउ टू अप्रोच द सिस्टम, सो दैट हम कहीं भटकने के बजाय हम जो है सिस्टम ओरिएंटेड ज़्यादा होकर के खुद के सिस्टम को जनरेट कर सकें. तो सर अगर आप इस पे अगर आप लोग सर थोड़ा सा गाइड करें, क्योंकि आप लोग कई साल का आपका एक्सपीरियंस है, तो
हाँ जी.
उस एक्सपीरियंस का सर हम फ़ायदा लेकर के हम इन सब ट्रैप में ना फंसे.
हाँ. हाँ, तो प्रॉब्लम ये है कि जब हम दूसरे प्रोफेशंस के बारे में बात करते हैं, जैसे इंजीनियरिंग हो गया या कोई डॉक्टर बन रहा है, तो उस प्रोफेशन में जो एक्सपर्टीज है उसको गेन करने में लोग अपने 4-5 साल 6 साल लगाते हैं. बट जब ट्रेडिंग की बात आती है तो सबको चाहिए कि कोई एक सिस्टम ऐसा मिल जाए जिसको हम प्लग इन कर दें और कल से हमारे पैसे बनना चालू हो जाए, जबकि रियलिटी में वैसा हो नहीं पाता है। अगर आपको कोई एक प्रॉफिटेबल सिस्टम मिल भी जाए, तो भी आप उसको लॉन्ग रन में प्रॉफिटेबली ट्रेड कर पाए या नहीं कर पाए, ये एक बहुत बड़ा क्वेश्चन मार्क है। लेट्स से कोई भी आप प्रॉफिटेबल ट्रेडर ले लो जो प्रॉफिटेबली ट्रेड कर रहे हैं मेरी टाइमलाइन पे। अभी जैसे पथिक है, संजीत है, इनके नाम दिख रहे हैं। अगर आप इनकी ये अपने आप को सिस्टम एज इट इज हैंड ओवर भी कर दें, तो भी आप साल में 2 साल में उसको प्रॉफिटेबली ट्रेड कर पाओगे या नहीं कर पाओगे, ये भी एक क्वेश्चन मार्क है। तो अगर आपको मार्केट को सिस्टमेटिकली अप्रोच करना है, तो उसको उतना एटलीस्ट टाइम देना पड़ेगा उसको समझने के लिए। वर्कशॉप से हमें क्या लगता है कि वर्कशॉप में कुछ एक सिस्टम सिस्टम या सेटअप मिल जाएगा जो उनके लिए चल रहा है और शायद हमारे लिए भी चलने लग जाए और हमारे पैसे बनने लग जाए, तो वहीं पे प्रॉब्लम स्टार्ट होती है। आपको वेल डिफाइंड कोर्स या स्ट्रक्चर चाहिए, तो जीरो द वर्सिटी है, उसका इतना बढ़िया कोर्स है, मैंने खुद पढ़ा हुआ है काफी सारे मॉड्यूल्स उसके सोफा। तो अगर आप वो स्ट्रक्चर क्रिएट करके उसको पढ़ना चालू करें और उसके बेसिस पे स्टार्ट करें, तो भी इट इज अ वेरी गुड स्टार्ट। ठीक है। और आपको क्या करना है, मार्केट में पैसे बनाने के बहुत सारे तरीके हैं, राइट। कोई कैश में भी, सिर्फ कैश में ही ट्रेड कर रहे हैं लोग, और सिर्फ कैश में ही ट्रेड करके पैसे बना रहे हैं, ऑप्शंस करते ही नहीं है। कोई ऑप्शंस बाइंग करके बना रहे हैं। ठीक
सर
है, तो वो
सर अगर आप परमिशन देते मैं अपनी
बोलिए
बात को
बोलिए।
थोड़ा सा आगे करना चाहूँगा। सर बेसिकली मैं जॉब करता हूँ और मेरे पास जितने भी मतलब कि जितने भी मैं पैसे इसमें डिप्लॉय करना चाह रहा था, उसको डिप्लॉय करके उसका मैं उस अमाउंट को प्लेस करके मंथली एक्सपायरी सर बेचता हूँ।
ओके।
या सर।
हाँ, तो ठीक है, उस अमाउंट में अगर आप निफ्टी बीस बाय करके उसके अगेंस्ट कॉल बेच रहे हैं, जैसे जितना मुझे समझ रहा है, तो वो भी ठीक अप्रोच है, उसमें कोई दिक्कत नहीं है। बट आपकी रिटर्न की जो एक्सपेक्टेशन है, कि मुझे पता नहीं आपकी कैपिटल कितनी है या क्या कर रहे हैं आप, बट आपकी रिटर्न की जो एक्सपेक्टेशन है वो भी उसी हिसाब से सेट होनी चाहिए। एफडी में हमको 5% मिलता है
जी
और
सर।
ट्विटर पे ट्रेडर रोज 5% बना रहे हैं, तो
नहीं
आप
सर
भी
देखो
वैसे ही
मैं
पाँच
सर।
परसेंट बना पाए या नहीं बना पाए, वो एक
जी सर।
ना, तो वो रिटर्न की एक्सपेक्टेशन के हिसाब से आपको सेटअप करना पड़ेगा। बट आई थिंक इस स्पेसिस का एजेंडा वो नहीं था, तो मे बी अगर आप कुछ और डाउट्स है, आपने कुछ भेज दो, मैं एक्सेप्ट कर लूंगा। हम सेपरेट उस पर बात कर लेंगे दोबारा।
ठीक है सर, थैंक यू।
जो स्पेसिस
Ashish
के
bhai,
एजेंडा।
shall I add on something to it?
यस,
Vikas this.
विकास। हाँ, बोलिए
Yeah,
विकास।
yeah, thank you. ये जैसे अभी गप्पू भाई बात कर रहे हैं बिगनर्स की तरफ से कि बिगनर्स को काफी प्रॉब्लम फेस होती है। देखो भाई, प्रॉब्लम फेस तो होगी ही क्योंकि हम टाइम देने को तैयार नहीं है मार्केट को। जैसे कि आशीष भाई ने बताया कि कोई भी प्रोफेशनल कोर्स हम करते हैं, 3-4 इयर्स का टाइम उसमें चाहिए ही चाहिए होता है। सो इसीलिए आपकी अप्रोच जो है वो ओवरनाइट रिच बनने की नहीं होनी चाहिए। ये बड़ा थकाऊ पकाऊ काम है ट्रेडिंग। ठीक है, बहुत बोरिंग है, यहाँ पर आपको स्ट्रगल करना पड़ेगा। हर सक्सेसफुल ट्रेडर जो है इस जर्नी से गुजरता है, तभी उसकी एक साइकोलॉजी मार्केट के प्रति जो है वो डेवलप हो पाती है एक टाइम के बाद। और हर एक की साइकोलॉजी क्या है, जैसे एक ट्रेडिंग साइकोलॉजी होती है, हमारी एक अपनी भी साइकोलॉजी होती है। जो हम मैं तो कहता हूँ, पहले आप जब किसी वेबिनार या 5 मंथ्स जो है यूट्यूब पर जो फ्री स्टफ अवेलेबल है, आप टर्मिनोलॉजीज जो वेबिनार में
विकास, आपकी आवाज ब्रेक हो रही है, या आई एम नॉट श्योर ये सिर्फ मेरे लिए ही हो रही है।
नहीं हो रही है।
ओके, आई
हेलो।
थिंक अगेन टॉपिक से थोड़ा सा डाइग्रेस हो रहे हैं। तो वंस अगेन मैं रिमाइंड करा दूं, रेड फ्लैग्स क्या हैं अगर हम किसी की कोई सर्विस लेने जा रहे हैं, ये स्पेसिस सेशन उसके लिए है। सो इफ एनीवन वांट्स टू स्पीक ऑन दैट, केएम और विभोर, would you like to go next? And then maybe Vaibhav, you had some points. Vaibhav, you can
Yeah.
speak.
Hello. So yeah, Ashish, I'll wrap it up. I missed 2 points which came to mind. So both are related to the red flags part. So one is related to the option buying. So many people are selling the systems of the option buying. So how they are luring in the fact that, for example, if I am doing a positional future trading where I'm shorting, futures or buying future, so the same can be replicated by options. If I make it a delta one, right? So if I buy two ATM options, it can be delta one. But for futures, if I'm taking the leverage of 3x, or maybe if I am using 3 lakh or 4 lakh per lot. So people are luring in the fact that you can buy यार ATM call लो ना दो ATM call आपको 50,000 में मिलेगी. So you can buy 50 by paying 50,000 you can uh, make the same payoff, and they will lure by the fact that if the future return is 30% CAGR, then option return will be 300% CAGR. And at end of day, you need to ask, if you are a new buy, like what is the maximum drawdown in that, what is the time drawdown, what is the Kalmar ratio, because if they are showing the return as 300%, then obviously the drawdown will also be huge. So don't consider only the premium amount, as if you are paying 50,000 for two ATM options, don't consider that as well. Take some, don't take 100% leverage in option buying, because it's not scalable in the end. If you will trade one future lot and two ATM options, you cannot do it with 500 future lot or 1,000 options, vice versa.
I
So
don't know
that's
who
not
this guy,
scalable.
but first of all, two option or 250 delta option is not equal to a future.
Yeah,
Two,
yeah. So the point is, Ashish, point is that like it's people are luring in option buying because it is you don't need to take, you can take 100% leverage in that. So that is one red flag, and I would suggest all new buys don't get into the trap of this. Even if you will read some articles, you may find that the comparison will be vis a vis, where they will be doing the comparison of futures and at the money options, where they'll be saying that in the options you don't need to do any leverage. So it's practically not possible to trade such kind of stuff. So if someone is luring that ये option buying system है भाई, इसका 300% कैगर है, so that's a big no, it's not possible. Then the last point I'll add here is there are some fancy titles on Instagrams and YouTubes where people are selling making YouTube videos selling courses, not courses but even the free videos, and the videos title will be there, how to generate more income via trading than your normal job. So if you are doing a day job, and if you want to generate, like if you are earning 1 lakh monthly, so there will be a titles like this that earn more than your monthly income, and how to become rich, how to become rich fast. So they'll be showing the Twitter uh, like YouTube videos, how to become rich in 1 year, how to become rich in 2 years. So that is also a big red flag, because such kind of videos will lure you very fast, and you will start joining watching those videos, and these videos will be small. So it's basically a strategy. If you are making, if for example I start making a video, and if I make a video 5 to 10 minutes or 15 minutes, by posting such stuff that I can make become rich in 1 year, then there will be many views, multiple views, than a person who is actually putting effort. If someone is putting effort, for example, if Ashish is putting effort in option X, he's making video trade idea, or he's giving a lecture on short wall about based on the IVs, there will be less views on that video rather than the video which has how to become rich in 1 year. And if his content is 1 hour long, people will not go to see that 1 hour long content, but they will come to see the 15-minute content of becoming rich. So this is also a big red flag for me, and I would suggest that don't get trapped by such fancy titles. So that would be all, Ashish, from my side.
all right. Yeah. AM, you want to next? Okay, I think KM is not there. Before, I think Vibhor is also not there. Soham,
Can I go ahead, Ashish?
Soham bhai, you can go ahead.
No, I just want to share one experience. Just like Pawan was saying, before you buy anyone courses, right? You have every right to ask for his PNL, and if you have every right to share feedback, if the system that is sold to you is not doing well. Similarly, there are a lot of people who are selling algorithm, right? And they're selling subscriptions of those algorithms. So if you have to subscribe to any of those algorithms, make sure you check the real PNL. Don't just trust the backtested result, because I heard few of you already mentioned that a backtest result can be highly curve fitted. Because I know there is one guy who runs a positional algo system, right? He does not advertise it on Twitter that much, but he has this service, and if you go to his website, you will see the win rate and the RR are very, I mean, they're excellent, right? The win rate is 70 plus percent, the RR is 1 is to 4. But I have personal experience of subscribing to his service, and I subscribed for an extended period of 8 to 10 months. During that entire period, the market was going up and up and up, and he runs a bucket of various algorithms. Some are trend following, some are mean reversion, etc., etc. But every other day he used to take those short trades, and every time it used to lose money. Like, just to give you some idea, out of every 10 trades, 9 will hit stop loss, and only one will be end in green. But that too, I mean, initially he will give a target of, let's say, the price is currently 3500, and he will give a target of 4000, but eventually he will come out of that trade by the time it's only 100 point up, which is 3600. So don't just blindly trust a backtest report. Do verify the actual live PNL. Yeah, that's all I
Right.
wanted.
Yeah, right, Soham. Yuvraj,
थैंक्स आशीष यार आशीष ये ट्विटर वालों को तो आपने बचा लिया है जिनको भी ये रेड फ्लैग्स चाहिए ना आशीष को फॉलो करो मैं काफी सालों से ट्विटर पे हूँ और एंड 12 साल से मैं ट्रेडिंग भी कर रहा हूँ ये बड़े बड़े जो स्क्रीनशॉट डालते हैं मैं सब उनको फॉलो कर रहा था एंड आई वाज ट्राइंग टू फाइंड आउट कि भाई किसी में कुछ तो पैटर्न है क्या, ट्रेडिंग का सिंसियरिटी है क्या। तो मुझे एक भी नहीं मिला है, लिटरली एक भी नहीं मिला है। जब देखा आशीष का हैंडल कि आशीष ने बहुत सारे लोगों को ऑलरेडी रेड फ्लैग कर दिया है, तब समझा कि भाई कोई तो जेन्युइन है इधर। बट ये तो ठीक है ट्विटर का, बाकी ये यूट्यूब पे टीवी चैनल तो देखना पहला बंद करना चाहिए कि ये टेलीग्राम इधर सब जगह पे ये झोल चल रहा है। झोल ही बोल सकते हैं, क्योंकि पब्लिक को क्या लगता है कि जहां पर भी एक क्विक रिच एटीट्यूड का गेम है ना, समझ जाओ उधर एक बड़ा रेड फ्लैग है कि आज ट्रेड दिया कल पैसा मिलेगा, ये सब झोल है। जब तक खुद टाइम नहीं बिताओगे ना, 10 10 घंटे, 12 12 घंटे, 2 2 3 3 साल, तब तक कुछ हाथ में नहीं आने वाला है। तब तक ये सब झोलर लोग फंसाते रहेंगे, इनके लिए बकरे मिलते रहेंगे। और आशीष ने तो काफी जन को बचाया है, बट ये बड़ा रेड फ्लैग है कि जल्दी आज के आज। और ऊपर से ना स्टॉप लॉस देंगे ना टारगेट देंगे तो बीच में बोलेंगे हो गया टारगेट अचीव, देखो वो एक साइड मूव कर दिया, ऐसा आधे अधूरे। एग्जैक्ट स्टॉप लॉस नहीं देंगे, एग्जैक्ट टारगेट नहीं देंगे। और बेसिकली जो इंट्राडे कर रहे हैं वो ट्विटर पे कैसे आ सकते हैं? मतलब जो बड़ा मूवमेंट होता है या जो भी बड़ा ट्रेड होता है दिन का, वो बहुत कम टाइम के लिए होता है, मतलब बहुत ही कम टाइम के लिए वो ट्रेड मिलता है। उस टाइम पे ये लोग ट्विटर पे रहते हैं, आराम से ये करते हैं। तो बहुत ही पता नहीं कैसे ये लोग इनके ऊपर ट्रस्ट कर लेते हैं। इंट्राडे ट्रेडर
राइट
है तो
राइट।
बिल्कुल मतलब वो दो
ये
तीन सेकंड के लिए वो ट्रेड आता है, वो भी वो लोग ट्विटर पे रहते हैं उस टाइम पे, और ऊपर से बाद में मार्क टू मार्केट डाल देते हैं बड़ा करोड़ का, और लोग भी उनपे ऊपर ट्रस्ट कर देते हैं। अभी इसमें लोगों का भी गलती है कि उनको जल्दी रिच बनना है। और क्या है, रिटेल मार्केट में अभी पिछले 2 साल में इतने जो लोगों ने अकाउंट खोला है, सबको लग रहा है यार कोई तो भगवान आएगा अपने को, कोई तो ट्रेड देगा। लोगों को पता नहीं है ट्रेडिंग एक नंबर का बोरिंग जॉब है। लोगों को ये मार्क टू मार्केट का स्क्रीनशॉट देख के लगता है कि बहुत ही एक्साइटिंग जॉब है। जब तक प्रॉपर बोर ना हो जाओगे, या प्रॉफिट होगा तो भी बोर, बकरे बनते रहेंगे मुझे तो लगता है। आशीष भाई आप बहुत अच्छा काम कर रहे हो, ऐसे ही चालू रखो यार, बहुत लोगों को बचाया आपने ऑलरेडी। Thank you for the opportunity.
ऑल राइट, थैंक्स युवराज। बीच में डिस्कनेक्ट हुआ था। आई थिंक एक वैलिड पॉइंट बीच में आपने बोला था,
हाँ।
जो भी टीवी और टेलीग्राम
अ,
पे टिप्स दे रहे हैं, मतलब उनसे अगर कोई
अरे टीवी टेलीग्राम टीवी पे तो बिल्कुल जाना नहीं चाहिए यार। मतलब ये रिटेल ट्विटर वाले तो फिर भी मैं समझता हूँ कि दो चार लोगों का कुछ तो इन्फॉर्मेशन रीड कर सकते हैं। ये टीवी पे तो ट्रेड होने के बाद बताते हैं और पब्लिक को लगता है यार ये टीवी पे आ रहे हैं तो बहुत अच्छा है। और नॉर्मल जो इंडिया का जनता है वो तो टीवी ही देखता है। वो हिंदी चैनल अपने खोल के बैठेगा, इंग्लिश चैनल खोल के बैठेगा और लगता है अरे इसने टिप्स दिया। मैं कितना लाखों लोगों से यार बात कर करके थक गया हूँ मैं। ये सब लोग मुझे ही टिप्स देते हैं, अभी तेरे को पता है टीवी पे ये टिप आया है। तो ये सब मत करो। कोई अगर न्यूज स्टार्ट कर रहा है मार्केट में, ये टीवी सब बंद कर देना, टीवी चैनल सब बंद कर देना। मार्केट का प्राइस मूवमेंट आपको देखने का रहता है और उसके ऊपर भी 2-3 साल लगेगा और एक ही पैटर्न को पकड़ना पड़ेगा। एक पैटर्न से दूसरे पैटर्न पे, दूसरे पैटर्न से तीसरे पैटर्न पे जंप करोगे, बहुत लॉस करोगे। कितने भी आप डिसिप्लिन हो, कितने भी हो, एक के ही पीछे पड़ना पड़ेगा। वो भी 3-3 4-4 साल तक पीछे पड़ना पड़ेगा, तब जाके कुछ हाथ में लगने लगेगा, है ना।
राइट
ये
राइट राइट
किसी और का देख के कुछ नहीं होता है मार्केट में।
राइट। आई थिंक वेरी वैलिड पॉइंट युवराज। आई थिंक लास्ट दो लोग मे बी और विल टेक एंड देन विल क्लोज दिस सेशन। सिस्टमैटिक ट्रेडर, आई assume.
Yeah, hi.
Hi. Okay.
I'm audible?
Yeah, you are.
Yeah. I would just like to add some flags, red flags, since I won't divert from the topic as such. There is some in Facebook, you get people who will ask you for 100 rupees or 150 rupees. आप आके ट्रेनिंग ज्वाइन करो, 2 दिन का सेशन, एंड दे विल गिव यू सिंपल EMA इसका 9 एंड जो भी अपना 21 रहता है। एंड देन उसके बाद एट द एंड ऑफ द सेशन दे विल आस्क यू फॉर मनी लाइक 8,000 रुपीज़, 9,000 रुपीज़। मैंने दुबई में लिया, मैंने मुंबई में लिया, इतना लोगों को सिखाया। सो पीपल शुड नॉट फॉल फॉर सच काइंड ऑफ ट्रिक्स, बिकॉज अभी ये ऑफ लेट बहुत ज़्यादा हो रहा है। एंड सेकेंड थिंग इज इन टीवी का तो सारा का सारा आप सुबह जॉट डाउन कर लीजिए, शाम तक एक भी इनका सबका स्टॉप लॉस हो जाता है, जितने भी टीवी में दे रखा है।
सो ट्रू।
आप मैंने खुद ने मतलब लिटरली एक फाइल बनाई थी और 85 to 90% इनके स्टॉप लॉस होते हैं। और मैं प्रोमिनेंट टीवी चैनल का नाम ले रहा हूँ, नाम नहीं लूंगा, बता रहा हूँ, किसी का नाम नहीं लूंगा। और काफी सारे लोग, इनको लगता है कि ये लोग सब सही बोल रहे हैं और इनके सारे, ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं। जैसे ये लोग बोलते हैं 2 रुपया ऊपर बढ़ेगा, 3 रुपया ऊपर बढ़ेगा और उसके बाद वो पूरा दिन गिरता ही रहेगा। कहने का मतलब ये है कि रेड फ्लैग की बात कर रहा हूँ। फेसबुक पे ये 100 रुपीज वाला कौन आर्टिस्ट के पास आप जाइए, मत। टीवी को तो आप बिल्कुल मतलब सिर्फ न्यूज के लिए देखिए। डू नॉट, उन लोग बोलते हैं लेके रख दो, प्लीज लेके रखना नहीं, वो गिरता ही है स्टॉक उनका। अगर आपको लेना है तो जब वो गिर रहा है तब आपको लेना है, जब बढ़ रहा है तब नहीं लेना है आपको। इतना सिंपल फॉलो करो, सिस्टम बहुत हो गया। अगर वो गिर रहा है और वो अच्छा स्टॉक है, अगर आपको कुछ समझ में नहीं आता है तो निफ्टी के 50 स्टॉक भी ही काम करो। गिर रहा है तो वो ले लो, गिर रहा है मतलब थोड़ा सब्सटेंशियल गिरना चाहिए, तो ले लो और फिर उसको बेच दो जब वो ऊपर चढ़ेगा। तो इसमें दिमाग क्या लगाना है। लेकिन लोग क्या लेंगे, बढ़ रहा है, भाग रहा है, ले लो ले लो। एंड देन उसके बाद आपको कौन छुड़ाने आएगा। जब आप ऊपर टॉप में ले लोगे तो कोई नहीं आएगा। उसके बाद वो रोते हैं, गाली देते हैं कि स्टॉक मार्केट खराब है, ये एंड वो। स्टॉक मार्केट खराब नहीं, आपका दिमाग खराब है, ठीक है। तो सस्ता लो, सेल लगी है तब लो। तब आप पूछते हो FI क्यों बेच रहा है। FI बेच रहा है, जाने दो ना उनको, आप खरीदो। हेलो, एम आई ऑडिबल?
Yeah, right. I think very valid point. Amit and
So
Arun.
हाँ, मैं अपनी थैंक यू।
Yeah, hi Ashish.
हाँ अमित बोलिए।
I think, I mean, one thing I like to point out is, like, I am not like total negative about getting some knowledge from like whoever is willing to do, but the only criteria that I always have is, if someone is not ready to live trade whatever they're teaching during weekends or whatever they are discussing on Telegram, at least for 1 or 2 months, I will never join. And I mean, that's a red flag for me. So because what I think is, if you're new having a genuine or like someone who is very good at teaching something is well enough to give you that head start. But ज्ञान देने के लिए सब लोग है, मतलब एंड देयर इज अ लिमिटेड नॉलेज, राइट? ऑप्शन क्या है, क्यों होगा, ट्रेडिंग स्ट्रेटजीज दे देंगे वीकेंड पे, टेलीग्राम पे भी बता देंगे, विच कैन बी लाइक वेरी मैनिपुलेटिव ओनली इफ समवन इज लाइक whatever they're training and they are able to do that live trades for at least 2 months 3 months and they are willing to add you for that live trades, then only we should, if at all we want to follow someone, that would be like only one criteria for me. I mean, I think most of people will still disagree that we should not, we should find our way, or we should find our system. But if at all you have to go with someone or trainer or some guide or mentor, the only criteria should be he or she should have live trading sessions at least for 2 3 months.
Most people deny to do that. Most people don't
Exactly.
offer live trading before you have purchased their system. So most people don't do that. But yeah, it is. If you want to consider that as a red flag, yes, it is one of the red flags. Okay, I think last speaker for today, Arun, and then we'll conclude. I'll conclude. Kaushik, I'm sorry, yaar, I'm not approving any more requests. It's almost 2 hours, so we'll close this session after Arun speaks. Arun, go ahead. Arun, are you there? Am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible, Ashish.
Okay, I think we'll close this session for today. I would like to conclude the session. Uh, I think it's fair enough to look for mentors or trainers whom we can learn from. It's very natural to do so. But when we are doing that, we have to think that everyone here who is selling something is a fraud. We have to assume that in first place, and then start our search for that trainer who can help us in our trading journey. So because anyone who has a good profitable system, anyone who can generate 30% CAGR over the years for in the long run, then they should not be selling their systems in first place. It's as simple as that. If I'm profitable, I'm making 30% per annum, and I can do so for years, and my systems are scalable enough, that if I'm doing it with 1 CR, I can do it with 10 CR, I can do it with 100,000 CR. Then there is no way I can sell those systems out in open for few thousands, or maybe for 1 lakh. I can't think of a way I would do that. So anyone who is doing that, it in itself is a red flag for you, and you have to assume that everyone here who is selling anything is a fraud, and then take your uh, you know thought process from that point, whether you want to take go ahead and attend someone's workshop or not. So yeah, I think there are a lot of red flags which we had discussed. One that stands out is obviously MTM screenshots, which we have discussed in detail. So I hope you guys enjoyed this session. Thanks to all the speakers over there: Vaibhav, Pavan, Shubham, Soham, Decisive Trader. I cannot recollect all the names, but thanks everyone who had spoken and shared their thoughts. And with that, let's close the session. Thank you, guys. Thank you for joining.